Hey folks, welcome back. Pop Retro 1 at Twitter and Pop Retro 1 at Instagram, facebook.com/Pop Retro 1. So, wanted to take a few minutes today to take a quick review of an old favorite of probably not yours, but an old favorite of mine, and that is the beach volleyball epic from 1990, Side Out, released on Blu-ray from Mill Creek Entertainment. Now, this is one of those films that, gosh, it came out when I was a freshman in high school, I think, or maybe like the spring or summer of my 8th grade year, heading in that fall to my freshman year. And I probably saw this maybe the year after because it was always on cable all of the time. And so this was just one of those ones that I could always flip on and it would be playing in the background because, obviously this is not a great movie. And a lot of people, just from reading the comments and some of the user reviews, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's so bad and it's so awful and it's not realistic. And I find that funny, the people that talk about how unrealistic it is, mainly because it's a movie. But I guess I get it. Some of the funniest comments that I've noticed are from actual beach volleyball players who, I guess, are kind of sad that this is this was their big movie that they finally were going to get for their sport. Coming out the same year as like Days of Thunder, came out for NASCAR racing. They were getting Side Out. And it turned out it just wasn't a spectacular movie. But at any rate, it stars C. Thomas Howell, okay? And C. Thomas Howell comes to town in Southern California, and he's going to work for his uncle, which is funny. His uncle is played by Terry Kaiser, who is the guy who plays Bernie on Weekend at Bernie's. And what's funny about that to me is that he is essentially the same character Inside Out. He's a big wig in a big skyscraper, and C. Thomas Howell plays his nephew who has to go out and pick up rents that are due. Okay, so he's kind of like a slumlord. Terry Kaiser is, and C. Thomas Howell is learning the ropes for the summer. He's trying to be he's an attorney, basically. He's studying to be an attorney. And so Kaiser's law firm or whatever is trying to close out on some of these people who have not paid their rents. So, but long story short, C. Thomas Howell, of course, tries to track down a guy played by Peter Horton. And Peter Horton is this beach bum who used to be a professional beach volleyballer, one of the best in the world. He's kind of washed up, and by washed up, I think he was in his late 30s, the actor, Peter Horton, playing the role. And so, as far as the fictional world of Side Out goes, Peter Horton was essentially the man, the best beach volleyball player ever. And so, C. Thomas Howell, his character, eventually kind of feels bad for Peter Horton and some of these people, and he just gets roped into playing some beach volleyball. And along the way, he falls in love with a woman played by Courtney Thorne-Smith. That's of Melrose Place fame. And she looks great in this movie. And essentially, he also is seduced by the whole beach volleyball scene. And so C. Thomas Howell spends the movie learning how to play beach volleyball, and there's obviously some other shenanigans going on in the background. There's a big tournament coming up, like the big national championships tournament. And so Peter Horton is at first training C. Thomas Howell and another guy, and eventually the other guy gets injured, so Peter Horton has to get back in action. And of course, it all winds up in a big showdown at the big championship tournament at the end. Now, that's just sort of the, the outline of what happens. And you can probably guess, what happens. It's no different than many, many other sports films, especially from this era, kind of the underdog, going for the gold type of thing. Now, what's interesting about this is also it featured some real life beach volleyball players. They were Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith. Now, these were two very highly regarded and championship volleyballers, beach volleyball players from the 70s and 80s. And so, they were a little older, I think, by the time they were filming Side Out, but they actually played these like nemesis, the team that, needs to be beat. And they're really not actors. And so there's some of my favorite parts of Side Out where these guys, Stoklos and Smith, St. John Smith, are playing against C. Thomas Howell and his buddy, played by Christopher Rydell, who is the son of director Mark Rydell. So they're playing these real professional players, playing versions of themselves, but they're really mean versions of themselves. So they're like, you're gonna wish you never came out on this court, man. Hey man, this won't take long. You're going down. Just these kind of real over the top, just like almost like high school theater type of meanie types. And to me, it just adds to the whole charm of this movie. And again, that's what was fun about watching this. I think growing up at my age, 15, 16, 17 years old, whenever this came on, and it was easy to just throw on the TV in the background when it came on cable and have it on while I was doing whatever it was that I was doing. So let's see what else. I got my notes here. Kathy Ireland makes an appearance in here. Kathy Ireland plays the office assistant or secretary to Terry Kaiser's character. And Harley Jane Kozak, who was in Parenthood and Arachnophobia around the same time, plays a woman who was the lover of Peter Horton's character. And she's got some shady things going on in the background. She's like the person who is the promoter of the big championship volleyball tournament and sponsors it and all that type of stuff. So she is also in this film. And along with Tony Burton, who was Duke in the Rocky films. He plays a bartender, small part in this film, but a memorable role in it as well. So this was put out originally by a company called Aurora Films, which was very interesting because Aurora Films was founded in 1978 by a couple of Disney executives. Rich Irvine and James L. Stewart were the guys who put together Aurora Films. And I have a short list of their films. They only had 6 movies that they produced throughout the 80s. Secret of Nim, 1982. Heart Like a Wheel and Eddie and the Cruisers in 1983. Maxie in 85. Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives in 1989. And then in 1990, the final film before they went under and went bankrupt was Side Out. So Side Out did not save Aurora Films from bankruptcy and from becoming a footnote in movie history, but I found it interesting nonetheless. So thankfully, Mill Creek is on the case, giving us Side Out in one of their VHS-inspired slipcases. There's a look at the back. Let's see if I can get a little closer so you can see those screenshots. Now what's nice about this too is the art on the inside is different. So there's a look at the inside art. There's a look at the back, also different from what was on the slip case, the slip cover, I should say. And there's a look at the disc. No reversible art on this insert, but kind of different art all around, which is kind of nice for a budget title, Mill Creek, the budget boutique releaser. So no special features on this one. And there are English subtitles included. So there you have it, folks. It is Side Out from 1990, Mill Creek Entertainment. Thank you very much for sending me this. And thank you for watching this review. And check back here soon. I will be here with more reviews and more haul videos, and I'll catch you then.